Okay, this is Justin P for Sprint9. So good amount of stuff put in for this week. There was so I guess I'll just try and go through each one of these files here. For the Scorpion factories and all of the other factories for that matter, they're all using the Wave Manager and Sound Manager now. So all of those are set up in each one of the factories for these guys. So I'll get into those, and actually right now I might as well show you. I could go through all the other factories, but I figure don't really need to. So this is the Wave Manager. It keeps track of all of the variables that are being set in the text file. So I have the text file working now. It parses through each line, and then when it finds a variable name from the text document, which should look like this, it'll find the name of a variable, it'll parse down to the line below it, and it will add that value into the variable that it just found. So I can take this this variable here, and I can stick it over here if I want, and it'll still run fine. So that's not an issue. Should show you what's happening. Those are all the if checks. This is what's controlled in each new level. So I'm up to level 5 now. Let's see. So in the .h, let me see if actually there's nothing interesting in there. So that's pretty much all there is in the Wave Manager. It just collects all of the data that's input by the quote-unquote designers, and allows them to interact and change different variables of the whole game. So next up was the sound, both the sound strategy and the sound manager, putting those in. So I have a loud class and a quiet class, and then also a bass class that these two classes derive from. So the loud class will obviously be used for the players, player 1 and player 2 if that gets in, and then the quiet will basically just be used for the attractor mode. And then in the in the bass class, there's just two functions, that's play and stop sound, and it'll just play whichever sound or stop whichever sound is passed into it. So that's pretty much what that is. The Sound Manager H just basically sets up each one of these sounds. It could individually set these if we can later, but for now it's just basically setting everything up for the Sound Manager. In the actual Sound Manager CPP, it's basically just got individual functions which call the strategy pattern, and it inputs which sound it wants to play which sound it wants to play or stop from the Sound Manager CPP. So that's these functions right here. Next, I think just in the mushroom, I just wanted to show that the Wave Manager is working with me, being able to add this is if the mushroom is in the lower part of the player area, just that I'm able to access the Wave Manager, call a function to it, and have everything set up in there. The Game Manager, which controls when the critters are spawning, so it pulls the information from the Wave Manager. It decides, maybe I should show you, it figures out, it has an actual counter for itself that it's updating every frame, and then it will check to see if that counter is greater than or equal to the predefined spawn rate that is from the text document, which is stored in the Wave Manager here. And so there's lots of other checks here for the Flea, the Scorpion, and the Spider, and also actually the Centipede has its own because it's spawned on levels. But So these guys each have their own conditions that need to be met before they can finally create it, and then it's reset for them to spawn again. So that's what this guy is. This is the game manager. So I know it's not supposed to be in the update function. I will remove that for the next sprint. I just was so bogged down with trying to get just everything working. So I know that all of these checks will be in the like with the collision for each one of the enemies. So it's not having to check this every frame, because that's obviously bad. So that's coming next. The other thing, what was this? I think this is just another one of the factories showing that I'm using the sound manager to play, and also let's see. Oh, this one has the sound, doesn't need the sound to stop in it, but it is using the sound manager. So now I'll go ahead and show you. Also, there was some updates I did to the Centipede, so it's not being so it's not having those issues of breaking apart as much. It still has a couple issues if I shoot it while it's in rotation, but other than that, it's pretty much working as intended. Also, I updated the score so that it actually gets proper scores from deleting other critters. So I'll try and get to level 2 here, and you can see that the waves are actually spawning properly. If I can just hit the guy. Okay, so now it's wave 2, you can see down in the bottom corner here, it's now started the second level. The guy is spawning a lot of mushrooms, but eventually now, here he stops, so I can lower that number later, so that he doesn't spawn as many crazy mushrooms all over the place, but he did hit a point that's stored from the wave manager. Okay, stop. The flea hit a point from the wave manager, that it knows that it needs to stop spawning mushrooms, and then if I want to go here and shoot more mushrooms, see, it spawns again. So that's all working. So I think that's oh, that's bad. I guess I'll fix that as well later. That's all for this week. Thanks.